Evil and ambitions scattered in the darkness, leaving behind dubious rumors to fly in public. To the next war we commit. Ooh, that was some good writing, huh? I'm gonna explain why, man. This is Andre Watanabe, and thank you so much for watching and listening. Please subscribe to the channel and support, please. Today I want to present one of the best horror animes I ever watched. It's called Requiem from the Darkness, or the Japanese style Natsushiko Kyogoku 100 Stories. The anime series has 13 episodes and you can watch it right now on Prime. The anime is based on a series of short novels written by the great Natsushiko Kyogoku. If you search online the biography of Natsushiko Kyogoku, you're gonna find out that he used to work in an advertising agency, but he unfortunately had to retire because of health issues. And later, because the economy went so bad, he cannot find a job, and he actually have extra time. And during this extra time that he actually write down his first novel, or his first book, which is called The Summer of Ubume, which I already began to read that one, by the way, and it's pretty good. It's a very easy to find. If you just Google it, you can either buy it. I mean, I don't know what local libraries you can. I guess that you can always get it in Amazon. Amazon is everywhere, but it's a pretty fun novel. I think the Summer of Ubume is the perfect way to get into the Natsushiko work. Absolutely. Summer of Ubume is part of a horror stories with a Japanese folk and psychological horror. It's part of a series called Kyogokudo. I hope that I pronounced correctly. And the history is about a pregnant woman who reached 20 months of his pregnancy and still she cannot give birth. And to make things worse, his husband disappears. I would like to give this extra information. Ubume is a yokai, which is pretty much a ghost or spirits who makes appears. But specifically, the Ubume is the spirit of a pregnant woman who died at birth. So you can tell right away that this is one of those classic ghost horror stories. When I search over the internet, Natsushiko seems to be a very loved person for his work. Even if you have never heard of him, I strongly recommend his work. He has more horror books than The Summer of Ubume. He seems to be a very gifted author. And just before I begin to break down or to talk about Requiem from the Darkness, I also want to mention that he has another novel called Loops Garros, which also has been adapted to anime. And maybe you can check it out. I cannot review that one, but I think it's interesting to bring it up. Okay, now I want to get into Requiem from the Darkness. The series centers in a character called Yamaoke Momosuke, and he writes for a living. He's trying to write a book about 100 ghost stories, and from there you can get the Japanese style of the series. Now, I don't want to mention the other characters so you can discover them and the backup story, but they are called Ongyo, which means the divine group. In Requiem from the Darkness, every episode there is a new history about human relations, the human conditions. You know, the dark side of mankind, you can say, like jealousy, loss, all kinds of different human stories about tragedies. And I think this is why I enjoy so much the series, because every episode is so well writing, and it's because I'm pretty much sure that it's because of the world of Natsushiko, because without his clear ideas and the dialogues and the stories itself, I don't think the series will get such a great quality, because it's based on his novels. You know, it's a short story that is based. And I think that because in my opinion there is a very few animes in which every episode shows a new story with a resolution that is this good. And when I mean about the resolution, I mean that the friends of Momosuke try to exorcise whoever commit this excess or this crime. Something that I find very interesting, if you can watch one of the first videos that I upload to my channel, I talk exactly about this. This is something like what the Greek says about, you know, if you commit an excess is something that every mankind or every person in mankind, no matter the time, always gonna find. Because if you commit excess, you're gonna have tragedy. But anyways, Something else that I want to highlight in the series, and I really, really want to give credit to the fansub, because the first time that I watched the series, which it was, long, long time ago, there was no Prime or streaming back then. The subtitles of the episodes that I find over the internet, they give you a lot of valuable information that I don't think that you can watch it in Prime, because the series takes place in the Edo era, something around the middle of the 1800. There is a lot of words and concepts related to the folk of the area of the era, and you're not able to understand the concepts and the depth of the concept with the subtitles. And if you translate, you don't also get a good definition of what they are. So if you're really, really, really interested in understanding, because there is substance, trust me, that's why I'm making this video about this series, has a lot of depth. And if you really want to go into it, you really have to watch it with a fansub that it's pretty good. You can find it in the bottom of the screen or on the top of the screen. Typically it's in both sides, top and on the bottom, and they will, when somebody says a specific word, they will explain it and give you the definition. Oh, this is what they mean in this era, or this character was very special in this era because of this or that. So I really, really want to give credit to the fansub. I don't think that a lot of people does it, but guys, whoever does the fansub for the anime series, and they go to the extra mile to give this extra meaning, man, I give you credit. I really do. And the reason why I want to mention so is because at the end of every episode, okay, there is a sequence in which, I don't know if you call it a prayer or a mantra. It's some kind of an exercise, when some type of an exorcism. But they give a prayer, and the prayer or this mantra, they're basically telling you, look, we come from a neutral position, okay? I'm not gonna tell you what is good or wrong, but there are certain things they are beyond judgment, and that's why we are here. You have to watch the series so you can really, really understand it. But you know what, guys? I know maybe for some people will be very hard to find the fansub, so I just want to give you this little prayer mantra that they give, okay? And matter of fact, if you watch the anime and you cannot find these words as this, that means that maybe it's not the best translation, okay? So this is what they say: even the bear of the mountains is still his food. The most honest person will become dishonest. It doesn't matter what the world is full of complexities. Nobody can say who is good or wrong, but when you kill, the guilt is evident. I mean, you can tell right away. This is great. I mean, this is something from Shakespeare or something like that. This is really to be in a classroom in high school. You know what I mean? This is not meaningless anime. So, this is the case why I want to present this. The other thing that I want to talk about is the visual aspect of the series. In my opinion, because I could not find over the internet what exactly they refer to themselves, okay? But in my opinion, they use the German expressionism. The visual style, which I totally love. I also love the way they use the Dutch angle. When you see this angle, typically you will have the horizon. You will have this line that is horizontal, and that's how you know the shot is even. But when you put an angle like a 15 or something like that to create some type of effect or emotional effect, that's the Dutch angle. The Holland angle or the Dutch angle, whatever you want to call it. Also the colors that they use and the style that you use, they use very hard shadows. Okay, they use very hard shadows, and the colors that they use, if you are gonna give you a few frames so you can watch the colors that you use, so you can kind of resume why I feel that it's like the German expressionism is dark shadows, high contrast, and very few colors. There is no saturations of the colors, and they have these very dark palette of colors, and that's part of the design of the series. Whatever they were designing the production, and pretty much they say, man, we need to find a very cool style, and also some of the characters when you see it, they don't they they are presented in a different way. If you watch the faces, in some cases they look like dolls. So other people do appear like real person, but other characters look a little bit funny or different. And I think that it's part of the charm of the series. Like every second of this series is something to really appreciate. Something else that I want to mention about the series, which I want to leave for the last, not because it's the least, but because it's actually one of my favorite parts. Actually, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's very special. Is the music and the sound design. I don't know if you call it original soundtrack, because the very first song that you're gonna that's the thing. The very first thing that you're gonna hear with Requiem from the Darkness is gonna be the song "The Flame" by Keiko Lee. Okay, and right away you're gonna be hooked. Actually, you're gonna believe the person who sings from the States or maybe from England, but no, it's actually a Japanese woman who has this huge and beautiful jazz voice. So just for listening to that sound, you know that you're gonna get something good. Like whoever is the producer here or the design of things is cherry picking everything in a great way. Again, I don't know if the song was made specifically for the actually series, because I actually find the song in a full album from Keiko. And I also want to give you credit for the original soundtrack, because there is an original soundtrack, which I think that's from where they take a lot of the sounds of the series, which is top notch too. His name is Kuniaki Haishima, and I really recommend it to buy the OST and also the music from Keiko, because for instance, the very first sound that you hear at the beginning of the video, that sound design is coming from them, and it's actually like it's audio in a low resolution. If you really like audio, man, I really advise to check it out, the original soundtrack. It has a couple of great sounds. I hope maybe I can put one of the ones that I like the most. Let me see. I hope that I don't get the video banned. Let me see if I can put a few seconds. Watch this. I mean that's great. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're an anime fan or not. If you like music, if you have good ears, you know that this is pure cream. All right. The last thing that I wanna talk about is I advise you watch this series in the night. All the lights turn off in your room. Just get a good sound. It doesn't matter if it's a stereo or Bluetooth speaker, just anything that enhances the sound, because the series is Breaking from the Darkness attract you into the stories. You're gonna see all the human stories that are presented. The characters, when they go clean and they begin to tell the story, you're gonna be sucking into that world. And if you have a good sound, it's gonna enhance the experience. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Once again, my name is Andre Watanabe. I hope that you can watch Requiem from the Darkness. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Thank you so very much for watching.